Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights from the LPL 2025 Split 2.
Which was gained of it. Top Esports. I suppose not getting the most out of their Kalista. Now Tarzan's going forward, sneak out and put down. Oh, Tarzan's here, calls the pack, looking to get onto Jackie, who will not be allowed to find a kill there. Now Crisp's in danger, will split himself apart, but to what end? There'll still be another Eviscerate. I imagine another W and a stun coming on through. Kyle Shield vaults in and helps secure another great play from anyone's Legends bot lane.
How do you beat
Top lane,
Top
decimating smash the wave. We'll surely finish that one in short order. TES do, however, pick up the grubs. And the dragon on the other side, likely going to be traded at a very similar timer. There's Corky Dwell, it's a really good video. Anyway, the strategy there definitely catches my attention. Strategy is typically one of anyone's Legends better things. Not able to get that next grub there. 4-for-1 right now. Smite down on Kanavi though. Stop Tarzan getting on in here. Sounds like an ult from Sion to come join. Kalista helps secure the next one. Fight after. Now gets a bit dicey. TP's coming flying on in from 369, looking for an angle. Oh, Blossom comes onto the backline. Crit. Fate called out to safety. They lose Kyle on the other side. Anyone's like this 369. Now the Guido Roman down as Jackie Love will surely fall. That's a reset. The Hounds will begin to pursue. Cream, no mana, has to flash over, but Tarzan with the Eviscerate gets onto the other side. 369 drags the Rise into the Death Realm, but a Realm Warp to the other side of the wall, even in the Death Realm, means he survives, and 369 walks out into the rest of anyone's Legend and falls down.
Top Esports don't have a strong Kalista to have a platform around. They were shut down in the laning phase to the point where Top Esports can't rely on Jackie Love carrying all of these early fights. To add insult to injury, Chris missed the Kalista knockup onto Shanks midway through that play. I think Shanks had a fantastic fight himself alongside the rest of it. Doesn't have the HP to be another front line. Top Esports, they don't really get themselves any ability to defend Jackie Love. He was just kind of shredded with no front line in front of him. Here comes Pantheon.
Comes on in with the Grand Starfall. Crisp will be burnt to his namesake. Taken out. That's another kill for Neferi. And double pink water control went onto the blast cone to prevent them using it as well is very nasty. Shanks pulled back towards 369. Away from this. Anyone's Legend getting so much value. Kanavi in that last round, remember, missed his impale too as Tarzan just flashed away from it.
Yeah, you know.
Split? So what's going on?
There was one from Broken Blade into top lane Cassandre.
That's true. Really, I mean, like this split.
This split? No, not this one separate. They had a complete split. So hang on, Shanks could be a bit of a problem.
Gets driven into a wall. There'll be an impale after. Flash out with the Merc Tread's value proving too much. Phase rush trying to get out to safety. They're still trying to run onto him. He's got a Realm Warp away. No, he's not. Finally gets CC'd in place. As Kyle went looking at the backside, Cream goes between worlds, finds Tarzan on the other side, will hop back on the other side of the Eviscerate. Played away from, nicely played from Top Esports. The problem is, there's still a Hound's pursuit. Tarzan trying to finally get that reset. Does so. Can now look to use that ult again. Cream low. If he can get in range, could look for that. Was looking for that vision.
Here he goes.
Before that, there he goes in the backside, but doesn't quite have enough damage. The Eclipse shielding is huge though. Will W to try and find some value. Is finally shut down. But takes one with him. Cream in danger as Hope looks to fire out a few rockets. The Corgi versus the Bunny, and the dog wins that one out, I feel, in the long run.
So Tarzan misplays a little at the end of it. Doesn't quite get himself the Q2 for the healing of that. Shanks has gone towards topside, uses that teleport to set up that top lane well. At least Top Esports will show how powerful they can be in these team fights if anyone's Legend don't have for that tank becomes so obnoxious.
Vision control right now, not fantastic for Top Esports. Kanavi, Excel's impact is sort of forced away into the river there. Clears out that banana brush board. Looking for another shotgun, and Cream can't find him. Clears a couple dogs out, but there's a W there.
In terms of summoning them back. Slow setup. No explosive plays right now. What that has meant is that you've bought time for the Kalista ult to come back. Jackie Love, everyone's ultimate's available. Grand majority of summoners available too. A couple of flashes down, just Chris, Kanavi, and Cream not having that means their play making a lot worse. Spear starting to get stacked up, and 369 can stop Flundering from coming into the play with his Realm of Death.
Not there though right now. Of course, he's down that bot side. Dragon secured. We'll have to fight after Kyle hops on forward with the shield bolt. Turns around with the Excel's impact between worlds is pulled. But not really tall. Flundering jumps into the wall, but they blow up the Skada. Pop Blossom back on the other side as the Grand Starfall comes flying on in. And the Fates call that Nico out to safety. Flandre has a lot of spears, but he's not really all under all that much threat. Into the Death Realm goes Kyle. Will likely die at 369. They get one back, but he's now in the middle of 4. As anyone's Legend come away with everyone but Jackie Love. And that might not even be true for very long. Will W to buy some time, and the call of the pack was not quite enough to get in range. So it'll still be Jackie Love survive, emerges into 4P.
You know you're having a bad game when you hear they delete the Skarner. Yep, I definitely hear that one. This time, though, he might be returning the favor. Shanks is getting good damage down. That rises in the machine gun spot.
Hope just about survives on the other side, but Kanavi will die. Tarzan now with a reset. The Hound's Pursuit available onto Jacula. Has a Blasco. Drag Tarzan over the wall, but can eviscerate away. Still hit by the Tangle Barb, though. Reach between walls, can come on through the pop blossoms there. They flash on him for Shanks, who does kill off Jacula on that Callista. Chris trying to run away. All the while, Cream is in a 1v3. Gets one, can't quite get out alive, though.
The machine gun rise is doing an ungodly amount of legwork here for anyone's legend. Top Esports can't deal with everyone. 369 wasn't even at that plate.
With Scion, 2 items himself. You're looking at 2.5 items on this Rise, who stopped off for the arm guard, but has also gone for a Negatron cloak because, of course, he needs more resists. This guy is so obnoxious at this point. Gets the route onto Cream. He's got nowhere ready to go. In comes the Grand Starfall, and Cream is eaten up like the dessert he is named for. Dies out. Kyle picks that one up, and Top Esports are falling apart in game 1 at this point if they weren't already in pieces.
The only thing that's a shame is that the support isn't there too. Legend have been having themselves some donut gaming in the Krispy Kreme. They have feasted on everything on the rest of the Snack Conqueror. Yeah, it's a lot of damage, isn't it? Dragon spawning in 30 seconds. Grease Knight is still... Hang on, he's trying to steal red buff. He's getting smited away anyway, doesn't it?
He's in a 1v3. Can of course Death Realm. Trying to trade out on Tarzan. Does a fair amount of work. What about the rest of Top Esports? They're buying a lot of time for people to come on over. Tarzan will immediately go into a W, takes a lot of damage back, and now this jungler's in a lot of danger. Tries to eviscerate away. And a flash over the wall for that massive Soul Furnace. Gets one back, though. Just Crispin dies doing it. What about the Rumble coming on in? Here is Shanks into the pit to pick up the Aurora. Kanavi can't RB, and he dies as well.
Top Esports might have just lost the game over a red buff take in the LPL, and it hasn't looked that close, actually.
No, it hasn't. The early lane dominance bot side was crushed before it could ever really begin. The Skarner has found very little impact with the ults. And on the other side of it, Kyle on the Pantheon, everywhere. Tarzan on this Neferi, everything.
Now, this is why, you know, in LEC and in LCK, when I see the Neferi losing, I am aghast. This champion has ruled the junglers because they're allowed to play their junglers to be carries a little bit more instead of doing more of the traditional utility and CC. Right here, you're against the Mordekaiser and Tarzan. Gastic just gets so much work down with the Hex Drink, of course, helping him out too. The healing, Cream's died as we come back to life. That bunny's been put down like they've got myxomatosis. As anyone's legend, there's just another one on the hunt.
They are... Chris needs to back away a little bit here as Kyle just runs at him. Conqueror stack. There's a TP into the pit. Flandre's now here as well. Kanavi now in danger. Gets knocked up by the unstoppable onslaught. 369 gets the darkness rising around it, but Kyle can immune so much of it with the Aegis of Dalton. Tarzan gets his reset, looking for another angle on in. 369 into the death realm with hope, trying to win that one of a flash out of the obliterate. Keeps the Corki alive. Kyle will step on forward and trade his life, but Tarzan avenges him with a triple kill to boot. This game is over.
This game's been over for a while. This is just the confirmation of it, heading towards that bot side. That'll be the base broken. Will it be the end of the game here? No, I think with the reset coming in from Cream, that won't be the case, but anyone's legend, very, very confident game here. Have to revisit the point that we made earlier on. This is not an easy composition to play from anyone's legend. I was worried for them heading in against Top Esports on paper before the drafts came in, because anyone's legend, they don't have as strong regular standard lanes in my eye as Top Esports. With lane swaps being removed, I was worried about them. So one of the biggest things that they succeeded at last split, but they've put a lot of those worries to rest, at least for this game.
Looking at the other side of this now, Tarzan. We always know him for having a playbook for the early game. At his best, he's someone with a great opportunity to mess up those early pathing, and Kanavi has been the recipient of him. He's just not a tank anymore. Shanks deletes him. On the other side, Cream and Chris going to try and find an angle, and it does look okay, but just not enough damage. Kyle stays alive, and Chris burns his life to find nothing. I get the Top Esports are in desperation stations. It's flip the dice and pray, but it is all so weighted against them. They've gone gambling, and unfortunately, the house always wins. Anyone's legend. Looking like everyone's legend today. Shanks goes golden. Jacula not able to pull the rend out. He's now going to get Hound's Pursuit and flashes to what end? You don't get to run away from the Hounds of Hell. This time dressed up as hot dogs. Eat your dinner, mate. You're going to food coma for at least another 35 seconds. It's over.
Anyone's legend will claim the first victory here in a finals rematch from last split. And to be honest, folks, this wasn't really close. We thought Top Esports came in with a very good with the Kaiser. Obviously, 2 plasma procs available right the way from level 1, from the hook and then the auto. And it's fairly tanky. You can stack yourself up some instant skill and practice in Renekton versus Gnar. Stuff like the Kai'Sa versus MF, which you won't see as much, but being able to outplay these again, flash forwards.
Yes, there's the flash for that Ruthless Predator. Kolbamik available and used. Flandre is taken out. Nice play from 369.
Oh, that might get a return of this though into the bot side. Kyle goes forwards using the Demolish. Demolish the Aftershock.
Fading out, coming on along as Tarzan here to make this a 2v3. The absolute bane of top esports live. Dredgeline missing though, not hitting a wall. Means there will be no reset on that. Turnaround begins to come on through as there's a teleport fly, but it's a very low or long time for that TP to come on through to make it rain slow. Could put Hope in a position where he has to flash. 369 looking for an angle, 1-for-1 the bot side.
But now 369 is not going to be happening here. Cream level advantage in mid lane, which is not what Shanks particularly wants. Dragon taken quickly by Annual's Legend. Kai'Sa one of the better champions.
Back courtesy some of that healing, and of course the fact he's got the Spirit Cleave to even out the trade somewhat.
Careful.
He's supercharging. Maybe to look for an ult. Does so, but a flash for the Pulverize is very well done. Now flash away from Hope, but there's nowhere really to go. The Death Judge comes on through the barrier. Is there? Flash forward from Jet 369 gets one as Kyle goes over the wall, trying to keep people under turret, but ends up hooking the Alistair.
Rather than been able to pull ahead and kind of leverage that to the best way. Green jumping between them, knowing he can win the trade here, taking a ballsy angle. Good health off Shanks though.
This would be first turret as well if they can secure that. That would be the feats of strength. Love to keep playing for it, but here comes Kyle
down. They can use the Kai'Sa ult.
Death charges in onto multiple people. Glacier Prison after awareness. The Kai'Sa coming on, looking to get an angle on here, but the massive 3-man Pulverize keeps Kanavi alive, who's now going to phase rush out to safety, but still burns out. They've gotten two. Cream had to flash away, and top esports get punished as a flash for that Mortal Steel Part 3 into the Permafrost. Secures another.
Hope will tank the last shot. The E from the Yone doing so much work that had banked up the killing damage onto problematic. I think Tarzan's too low HP to take this. This could be a bit of a problem. They're looking for the smite fight. Can they get it in time? Yes, they can. All right. No fight happening afterwards.
Tarzan should still have an Arctic Assault if he needs to leave. Does he want to try and play this? He's got a Glacier
No, they
Prison.
want to get the inroad onto mid lane, but Shanks teleports in to cancel that out.
Tarzan now zoned away from coming to help that. That will be mid-tier 1. Falling bot lane turret's already on a sliver of HP, so I think they're in a pretty precarious position in terms of these structures or anyone's Legend.
Yeah, top esports play the gamut and say, look, we can't get towards that dragon, but we can punish you with the 6 grubs. We said that 6 grubs typically not winning out a lot of games now compared to dragon stacking in the top level of pro play. And Legend will be able to hold on to that bot side and I guess be able to save their own top lane, bot lane turret for a little longer, but I feel like the best thing ever for them.
Frost available, in comes Kai'Sa, they get a Pulverize and a Death Charge coming on through, and 369 survives, Dominus and Flash with
Jackulov,
and that is Flandre coming along as well, but yes, you're right, Jackulov is here, can look for the bullet time, lands it, Kyle will likely die, does so, but it's an interrupt onto Jackie, who cleanses now, 369 though still stands, and so they lose one, and don't get anything back in return.
Tristana, 6 grubs pushing in topside, so anyone's Legend. Yeah, I just called that out. The Tristana pushing in no, you can do it yourself if you have enough attack speed.
Okay, so you just get a knock, but then
you need Berserker Reeves and like one more item. Grub's gonna go down. Hang on. Kyle doesn't have an angle here. Oh, Jackulov flashes away.
Pulverize used by, headbutt used burned by Chris, but now Jackulov's in danger. Flash on top of him, does not have the cleanse. If they can get the permafrost, they can bring him down. Hope Jones just managed to auto him down. Kanavi tried to buy time with the ult, but they just lose the bottom lane. 369 at least will claim the tier 2 while all that was happening. So they do get a turret in trade.
They do. So the gold is not going to move that much. I will say that Hope is getting very, very fed. Anyone's Legend moving around the map well, or at least choosing their area for fights pretty effectively, and they will take down this mid lane outer turret. That's a big thing for them. If they're looking for big diving plays, this is a huge tower to take, which makes this more difficult. Doesn't have flash. So if you land the CC and you cleanses, the plasma's still on him, Kai'Sa can still jump towards him, so there's still every chance that Hope can just say, alright, go for the play onto the Misfortune. Yes, they might not be CC'd, but I can fly into them. We can make it a 2v3 dive somewhere. On bot side too, 369 has teleport. Tarzan spot. Bang, they have so many control wards. Okay,
so a big square of them.
They've got everything. They set up for that dragon, of course, beforehand. It's going to go down. Flash straight onto Cream.
That's interrupted the rocket jump. So Cream has to flash. Buster shot away. TP in from Flandre is nearly at Mega. Jackie in a 1v2 immediately cleanses. TP now in from 369, looking for the angle. Kanavi slows down Flandre, who's not at the Mega now yet. That's Atakan, who could start getting in trouble here if they overplay this. Flash for the twisted advance. That's onto Chris. Throw to Tarzan, opposing jungler's dead. Kanavi though though. In danger himself. Surely burns out to Flandre. Does so. Atakan has been aggroed. That means Flandre's in danger. Will likely fall here as a result of it all. 2 for 1 in favor of Top Esports.
The dive combo doesn't work from anyone's legend. This Yone ultimate, I don't know whether it wasn't spaced out appropriately. Maybe Shanks was surprised he hit the Q3, but it means that Cream can flash out of the combo and Hope can't get the kill. And suddenly Top Esports can rebuild their battle lines and take the fight. Anyone's legend, I think they thought they'd get the quick pick onto the Tristana and out, but it doesn't work out like that at all.
As a result, they try to
Try and get onto these double AD carries at some point, but the AD carries are ahead. They are building towards Last Whispers now. And Anyone's legend. Hang on, that's a great ult to Cream. It's not enough buffered away from.
Cream on the whole. Pretty good job with buffering a lot of the attempted picks onto him. I wonder whether with Jackal, if I mean he's cleansed down, he might have been a wiser target. A buster shot would have made things tricky. Kyle steps on forward, puts the Riptide down and tries to clear out the wave. Tarzan will ask for salt forward, but here comes Kanavi with a massive turnaround. Crisp with the pulverize allows that bullet time to hit onto multiple people. The turns around with the fate sealed. Buster shot it away to prevent too much damage, but Cream still falls.
Anyone's legend should absolutely be dead, but they are into a full physical damage team, and the full AD, full physical damage resist as well here. Just look how much damage these tanks take. It's a lot, but imagine how much more it would be if there wasn't... Hang on a second, we're going straight into towards Baron. Let's get back into live. Anyone's legend, they are really letting us flip it, aren't they?
This could be dangerous. No ult for Jackson. It makes it tricky. Chris goes into the backside. Double pulverize again. Into the backline goes Shanks to try to find an angle. Can't quite get it. Yes, Kanavi's in danger. Double bramble smash means he dies all the same. 369 in danger. Captain Rain. Huge value. Jackie just about alive, but not before the Spirit Cleave comes on through. Anyone's legend. Do it again.
Anyone's legend, clutch shot.
Front line.
Okay, so onto the dragon we go. Remember, W upgrade for Hope really makes them a poke monster. How much poke can they get? Kanavi has his ult. That's important too. Here comes the Nature's Grasp. Nature's Grasp comes across. Shanks avoids it. They're now looking for an angle onto Jackie. Dodges both though, Jackie. So Shanks finds no value. They get the soul point regardless. 3-6 out of the backside though. Surely falls. Does so. Shanks with the massive shield. Curtis Model Jimmers Hope into the backline. And Gavian Rain will finally bring the sound of this misfortune down, but Kanavi Wing onto the Kai'Sa, brought them low. Cream is still free firing, doing so much damage. They've killed another. Shax needs to run. Kyle needs to run. Another rocket jump. Another dead member, surely. As they will W forwards again. The twisted advance secures Cream. Another kill. Top Esports have a second AD.
One of the Tristana. Or the misfortune and make a real mess of things. Tarzan doesn't really have to be afraid of that much in the world. Flandre maybe does a little bit more. Well, hit by that stride breaker slow, and there comes Nature's Grasp, forces a flash away with the turnaround now, potentially on the back end as the
no bullet time. No bullet time.
Hope could do so much damage, he's going to get through so many passes. Crisp has got the ult running, headbutts out, trying to get to safety, but Flandre got Mega Knock coming in the man, thanks Kanavi, into the main seal from Shanks, who stabs him through the heart. Shanks by name, eviscerate by nature. And Top Esports must run to the hills. Tarzan looking for the blast cone. Cream just spotted. Jacula just spotted. How much further can they chase?
There's a slow denied by Tarzan's passive. They still have the bot lane outer turret coming out.
Boy.
Cream, what does he got? He doesn't have Buster Shot. He has a lot of damage though.
Tarzan will have to back away. Can't quite get enough time on that. But that is the Baron jump entirely denied. Flandre TP top lane.
He flat top. He teleports up there because he knows he can take a lot of gold from across the map. As you were saying beforehand, it's a full physical damage comp. Yes, the last whispers are there, but the tanks feel so...
369 is not the front line he was at 5 minutes into the game. Tarzan's been jumped on. Is that split off enough? He will have a flash. Maybe force to burn it. Needs to get out of there. Does so. The Nature's Grasp comes on down as Shanks flashed out as well. But he's on a bullet time. He's surely going to die. Does so. What about the other side of the fight? There's nothing there. They've lost a member. Kyle was looking for a flag, but now he's split. Oh, anyone's legend. Not like this. Over to the backside, tries to go to Cream, can't quite get the kill. Tarzan looking for something against the Closure Prison, but will not find it. Flandre in a 1 versus 3, surely dies. They're trying to clear waves.
Shanks dies to the nerf to Yone. He can't buffer through the CC. He gets stunned even though he tanks at the marker. Now Hope has nothing left. He can Zhonya's, but that'll be it. The flash leads to nothing, and anyone's legend, despite the armor stacking, despite what we thought was a winning team fight, cannot end this game, and Top Esports will run back to them with their 6 grubs and ruinous Atakan.
It was an omen of destruction. He said, yes, the Lord Doms will be enough if they get separated. Tarzan starts separated. Shank starts separated. Kyle ends separated. The only member left surviving for a moment or two longer, but Top Esports claim game 2 to take us all the way to a 3rd game in this series.
they need Tarzan and Shanks to do a lot of work early game to make sure that the rest of the team can make it through to that point of power. Typically, you'd think that Jin can get there himself, but against the Ezreal, it's been the way to deal with top users. Can they get onto Crisp? Crisp is their option, is the play here.
Looking for the passive route. There's an exhaust coming down. They don't quite get the passive. Gonna flash, heal away, but does Crisp have any more mobility to get on out? As Tarzan has a flash into the Sky Splitter, and they break the level 2. It happens again.
Top Esports bot lane just don't pay attention to the minimap. They get the hard push. They're winning the 2v2. That's fine.
You have a good look at players like Ming, right, who had a bad season and they're not playing so much anymore.
That's contract stuff. Teleport, hang on a second. That's a problem, Flandre.
Alright, Flandre. He's down here. Crisp and Jackie level 2 and 3. That's the level 4 Gwen, who actually does a fair amount of snipping. Decent hallowed miss, but Jackie in a dangerous spot. Still has the flash, still has the cleanse, maybe forced to pop it. Flash away. Flandre can't get the kills he's looking for and just dies.
I don't know what happened with that teleport. He must have just seen that Jacqueline is maybe he's just looking for the smite fight here.
369's around, only level 5. We'll get a Sky Splitter shield to still look to play with this one. They're going down to a very much a smite fight. Right, the Gwen gets the dragon. Tries to play this one out. Shanks now in danger. Tries to look for the ult out of here. Sorry about that one, Alex. Managed to hit him with my knee as I got a bit excited in that play. As Flandre now in danger, gets to jump away, and ow, 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 ow.
Top Esports, they lose the dragon, but what is Tarzan thinking he's going to achieve there? Cream gets down to the play first, and I suppose Flandre gets the steal, but anyone's actually giving up a lot of gold. And what did we say about this composition? Top Esports can really leverage their early advantage, their early matchups well against their opposing numbers, and I'm really quite afraid here for anyone's legend.
Well, maybe a bit of a bait for Tarzan. Still here, gets the charm, and now Kanavi's gone too deep. They have baited it in well. Kyle now throws up the door and prevents any easy follow-up. Tarzan potentially in dangerous. Cream keeps autoing, gets the soldier down, but they do pick off Kanavi, and grubs have just spawned.
Shanks, Dragon's gonna be split. AL took the first dragon. I mean, objectively speaking, AL with objectives, doing okay here. 3 grubs and the first dragon. Means that top users don't have a second dragon to play around. Well, Rift is it? Ocean? I mean, in this kind of game, yeah, pretty good. Very good for Gwen. Very, very good for Gwen.
Thinking for tight matchups as well. Not great for considering all this lightning flying.
True.
Tarzan splits the skies and calls forth the Storm God. Reset now from 369, who's not going to go back quite yet. They'll lose another grub, 5 grubs and a kill over to anyone's legend. And I'm watching Nymera have his face in his hands. What on earth was that?
I did just see that Shanks missed.
Oh man,
Shabrama.
boss.
They're going to go into Flandre now. They got themselves the bot turret potentially. Don't have grubs. They'll go for the dark.
Session. Gonna try and play this one out. There's the root coming on down. Decent snip. Go gets a lot of damage. As Crisp will fall for that trade. TP now comes on in 369 in danger. Kanavi's gonna have to run as well. Does Shanks have a flash or an ult to try and chase on to 369?
He's too far away. If he goes closer, might be... No, he's too far away. Grub's going to be able to take some damage off of this. Teleport him down. And Crisp doing a good job of matching the map, actually. Making sure that his laners are doing well. Oh, gets the quick out of there, and the ult doesn't save it.
What a combo. Nicely done, Top Esports mid-jungle.
Really well played from Cream. I don't think Shanks recognized nearly soon enough that was a huge swing.
Don't teleport to be there as well, so that's a rough moment. Top Esports suddenly find themselves with a sizable gold lead here. Top side, they're going to go for the turret dive, call down the Thunder God as the Storm split. I remember that name a little later on in 369. I think he's probably just dead while I am fumbling for ability name.
Aww.
No, he is not, because Kanavi is there with a cease and desist to turn it all around. Speaking of fumbles, a bad one there from Tarzan, who dies. They've got Storm.
Stormbringer, isn't it?
Stormbringer, that's the one.
Stormbringer.
Correct.
Pretty helpful. Basically,
being said and done. Dragon going to be taken by Top Esports to be their second of the game. All the while, at least, Flandre and the rest of anyone's legend can pick up the Herald. You'd be happy with. Maybe at 10 stacks. Shanks goes looking for an ult play here, but Cream just goes, cool, I'm going to slide away, put up the Sundisk. Flandre now here. Still an ult charge. Needlework is popped, and they just turn the play off. That's a Sundisk in trade for a couple ultimates, and now mid lane's in danger as Top Esports get the shove on forwards.
Well, they don't have the 5 grubs. This won't fall that quickly. That's a big flash forwards, trying to kill the squishy support.
They will do so. Crisp, too far forwards on the Karma, goes down. The flash from Tarzan is lethal.
Now, this is what should go before this contest, though.
Probably will. 369 looking at a potential flank angle. Last Conan a flash. Dragon is taken. How aggressive does 369 want to play? He's got a slicing motion on a flash. Gets on in. Onto 2 members. The W is good from Flandre. The Hallowed Mist allows him to stay sanctified and safe. But only for a moment or two. But wait. Look at the curtain call. Anyone's legend. Turn it all around. The Stormbringer comes on through. Jackie and Cream get that one. Ends up being a 2 for 3. As a little bit of an overdive at the end from Tarzan.
It's a bit of an overdive in different points in the fight from both teams. 369 369 doesn't get a clean kill, and Shanks ends up living to do more damage. And you're absolutely right, pointing out the damage which Hope did midway through that fight too. Cream still has the wave clear available to make some play here. Cancel down on the dash though, and he has no mobility left.
God,
Gets one kill under the turret, and anyone's legend will make it a 1-for-1, but they will take the turret. Great skill shot accuracy. That is actually game-changing. Here comes Tarzan, but there's no follow-up. He's going very dangerously deep.
Shanks has at least got more HP to land as he does land that charm onto Cream, who gets the shuffle out. Dragon secured. That soul. Cease and desist in the backline alongside the slicing maelstrom that is only exhausted at the very damn end. Flash over the wall for Jackie, who cleanses away the charm, and Hope desperately trying to outplay as Jackie has shields, has Ocean Soul, has them all. It's Hope springs eternal, but unfortunately, he's not going to spring into anything resembling a one team.
Get themselves Baron. Get themselves Atacon afterwards. They'll have GA and they'll have the ability to force with it. Split map comes through. 5 grubs for anyone's legend does mean that they kill towers very quickly. They will get an objective bounty from that top lane out of turret, but they will need to return to mid and bot lane in short order to make sure their base stays intact.
One turret, trade for the Atacon and trade for the Baron and trade for the Dragon feels pretty rough, all things said and done. Alan, don't get me wrong, I feel for Tarzan. Dragon fight. The rest of his team was delayed by Jackie, and the Dragon was going down then, so you have to go and try and play for the smite, but this can cost him. Flandre, 2 levels down on 369. He's got no mana. Takes a turret shot and will dance away at the very least, but it means there is no Volibear and no Gwen here defending this turret on the bot. So you land a charm, but there's a massive shield, which means the Ahri does negative damage right now.
No, doesn't really do much, and the Bloodthirst will mean that they'll be shrugged off next time he hits a minion. Ahri goes in to help the mid lane break. They have 2 minutes left of the Atacon with the Baron buff. It means they get to be Baroned up with the GAs for the entirety of the duration of it. Top Esports, this is a very easy to combo to end with.
369 still chasing Flandre. It's Yakety Sax between the top lanes, but it means your Gwen's not here, who's finally going to get towards the base, but she's at 20% HP with no mana. This base is under siege. The Nexus turrets are about to fall. Flandre is all but dead, does actually burn out, and now you're playing a 5v4 for the next 50 seconds. Nexus turret number 1's going to fall, and Top Esports are looking to make sure they slit the throats of anyone's legends, who unfortunately have met the villains of the LPL. It looks like we might be having a contest. It looks like we might even be having an upset, but it's